A blood-curdling scream pierced through the dormitory, sending chills down every girl's spine. Myra shot up from her bed, her chest heaving and her body drenched in sweat. Her wide, terrified eyes darted around the room. Just moments ago, a creature with a donut for a head had leaned in close to her as she slept, its voice haunting her ears. "Take a bite."
Kibire.
The dormitory erupted into chaos as the other girls rushed to Myra's bed. "What happened?" Kiki, her bunkmate, demanded, her face pale with fear. Myra's hands trembled as she clutched her blanket tightly. "It was here," she whispered hoarsely, pointing to the empty space by her bed. A creature. Its head was a donut, and it told me to take a bite." The girls exchanged uneasy glances, their faces a mix of worry and disbelief. "Are you sure you weren't dreaming?" asked Amma, trying to keep her voice steady. Myra shook her head violently. "No, it was real. I could smell it. The sugar, the icing, it was right here." The next morning, the dorm buzzed with gossip about Myra's scream. As the girls got ready for class, whispers followed her wherever she went. Myra's nickname, Miss Give Me Some, took on a darker tone. "She probably had a bad dream because she's always taking food that doesn't belong to her," one girl muttered. "Maybe her bad habits are haunting her now," another snickered. Myra, overhearing them, felt her cheeks burn. She wanted to argue, but deep down, a gnawing guilt crept in. At breakfast, Myra couldn't eat. Her hands trembled as she clutched her fork. Across the room, Ode sat alone, nibbling on a round donut. Myra's stomach churned as she remembered taking food from Ode just a day ago. The sweet smell of the donut made her queasy now, a sharp reminder of the creature's chilling words. "Take a bite."
Kibire.
Myra loved food, but not her own. In the busy boarding school where she stayed, the smell of food from others' plates made her mouth water. It didn't matter that her chop box was filled with the best snacks and condiments. The food other girls ate always seemed tastier. She had a habit. Whenever she saw someone eating, she'd stretch out her hand and say, "Give me some." At first, the girls found it amusing, but over time, it became annoying. They even gave her a nickname, Miss Give Me Some. But Myra couldn't be bothered. "Miss Give Me Some is coming. Quick, hide your food." The girls would whisper to their table mates whenever Myra strolled into the dining hall. She could hear muffled giggles, but didn't care. She just wanted to taste everything. That night, Myra lay awake in her bed, her eyes darting around the dark room. Every shadow seemed to move, and every sound made her flinch. She kept replaying the creature's words in her mind. "Take a bite."
Kibire.
Suddenly, the faint smell of sugar filled the air. Myra froze. Her heart pounded as the soft whisper echoed in her ears. "Take a bite, Myra."
Kibire.
She turned her head slowly, and there it was, the creature with the donut head standing at the foot of her bed. Its sprinkles sparkled ominously in the dim moonlight. Myra's scream ripped through the dorm once more, waking everyone. The girls scrambled to her bed, their faces pale with worry. "Not again," Kiki groaned, rubbing her eyes. "What is wrong with you, Myra?" "It was here, the donut creature," Myra cried, her voice shaking. But when the girls looked, there was nothing there. "You're imagining things," Amma said sternly. "Maybe you're feeling guilty about always taking people's food." "No, I'm telling you, it's real," Myra insisted, her voice rising in desperation. The other girls exchanged wary looks, and one by one, they returned to their beds, leaving Myra trembling under her blanket. The next day, Myra dragged herself to class, her eyes red from lack of sleep. She sat in the back, avoiding everyone's gaze. During break, she spotted Ode sitting under a tree, as usual, eating a donut. Myra hesitated before approaching her. Ode, she began nervously. Ode looked up, her expression calm but unreadable. About the donut I took from you. Did you do something to it? Ode's lips curled into a faint smile. Do something? Like what? I don't know. It's just... Myra trailed off, unable to explain. Ode took a deliberate bite of her donut, her eyes never leaving Myra's. Maybe, she said softly, you should stop taking things that don't belong to you. Myra's blood ran cold. The way Ode said it, her voice so calm yet so chilling, sent shivers down her spine. Myra backed away, her heart pounding as Ode continued eating her donut with an eerie smile. Myra dreaded going to bed that night, but exhaustion from her restless nights finally pulled her under. Just as she began to drift off, the sugary scent filled her nose again. Her eyes snapped open, and there it was, the donut-headed creature. It loomed closer, its syrupy voice dripping with malice. If you won't take a bite, then I will take one from you. Myra screamed as the creature leaned toward her, its sugary glaze glistening in the moonlight. The dormitory was in chaos once more as the girls rushed to her side. This time, her screams weren't just terrified, they were primal. Myra, enough, Amma yelled, shaking her. We've had enough of your nonsense. Go back to sleep. Myra's voice cracked. I'm not crazy. It's real. It's going to take a bite of me. But no one believed her. They left her shaking in her bed, muttering about her being cursed. The days that followed were agonizing. Myra couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and couldn't escape the creature. Her once bright eyes were now hollow, her cheeks sunken. She wandered the school like a shadow of herself, drawing stares and whispers from the other students. Did you hear? Miss Give Me Some is losing it, one girl said as Myra passed by. Myra clenched her fists but said nothing. In class, Ode watched her with that same unsettling smile. During break, Myra cornered her. Why are you doing this to me? She demanded, her voice trembling. Ode raised an eyebrow, feigning innocence. I don't know what you're talking about. You do. Ever since I took your donut, I've been haunted, Myra snapped. Ode leaned in, her voice barely a whisper. Maybe it's not about the donut. Maybe it's about you. Greed always has a price, Myra. Myra staggered back, her heart pounding. Ode's words echoed in her head, and for the first time, she wondered if this nightmare was her punishment. That night, the donut creature returned, but this time it wasn't whispering. Its voice boomed through the dormitory, though no one else seemed to hear it. Time is running out, Myra. If you won't take a bite, I will. Myra clutched her head, rocking back and forth. Leave me alone, she screamed, tears streaming down her face. The creature tilted its donut head, its sprinkles falling like sinister confetti. You can't escape me, Myra. You brought this on yourself. The other girls, fed up with her outbursts, demanded that the house mistress intervene. Myra was sent to sleep in an empty room, isolated from the rest of the dormitory. Alone in the silence, Myra felt the weight of her actions. She remembered every time she'd taken someone's food without thinking twice, the laughter of the girls as they hid their meals from her. The creature's words echoed in her mind, and she realized that her habit had spiraled into something far more dangerous than she could have imagined. Myra lay in her lonely bed, shivering with fear. The sugary scent arrived first, then the creature emerged from the shadows, its glazed face gleaming. This is your last chance, Myra. Take a bite.
Kibiri.
No, Myra screamed, tears streaming down her face. I won't. The creature chuckled darkly. Then I will. It lunged toward her, its gaping mouth aiming for her head. Myra let out a blood-curdling scream and bolted upright. She was in class, her classmates staring at her, startled. The teacher frowned, tapping the chalkboard. Myra, is there a problem? Myra blinked, her chest heaving. Was it a dream? Just as she began to relax, the teacher continued. As I was saying, class, please welcome our new student, Ode Nelson. Myra froze as Ode walked in, her familiar eerie smile plastered across her face. As Ode locked eyes with her, she silently mouthed the chilling words. Take a bite.
Kibiwe.
Think twice before asking for a meal, because the wrong hands could serve you more than you bargained for. Hi fam, hope you enjoyed this story. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification button so you don't miss any of your favorite African folk tales. Until next time, it's bye from us at Up and African Stories.